Welcome to the Alchemist Summary. The Alchemist is a book about a boy named Santiago who's a shepherd. He owns 60 sheep and travels around for 2 years trying to figure out what his life's about. Eventually, he meets a gypsy that tells him about his personal legend, and he decides to go to Africa, and he meets a guy that steals all his money. Next, he goes and meets an old man who turns out to be a king that gives him gems. The old man gave him stones that told him yes and no and helped him show him omens. The boy then went on a caravan with an Englishman and learned about an alchemist. He then went to a place called the Oasis, talked to the alchemist, learned what he needed to do to find his personal legend, and went to the pyramids. He then meets 3 men that beat him up and tell him about one of their dreams. The man says he would never chase his own dream, but Santiago realizes this is his personal legend and follows the other man's dream and finds a chest full of Spanish gold and gems. And that's the end of the book.
Analysis of the quotation. I'm like everyone else. I see the world in terms of what I would like to see happen, not what actually does. Said by Santiago on page 40. This quote was spoken to an owner of a bar when the owner is said to be upset due to the living habits he has in the town he lives in, with all the thieves and crime that happens in it. They use this quote to help cheer up the old man and reminding of an old man in the story. This part of the story and quote helps me to persevere through rough times and just think about the things that cheer you up, like the old man did the man at the bar and how the quote affected the old man. It was able to actually cheer him up in the story.
Tell your heart that the suffering is worse than the suffering itself, that no heart has suffered when it goes in search for its dreams, because every second's encounter with God and eternity. Paulo Coelho, page 130, The Alchemist. This quote was the alchemist's response to Santiago fearing the sufferer. They were on their way through the Sahara Desert, and the alchemist was transferring some of his knowledge to Santiago. The alchemist tries to tell Santiago that people will go through suffering and struggles on their journey to their dreams, but as long as the suffering is required to reach and achieve your dreams, it won't be painful. The second part of the quote means that every second is an encounter to the future and the past, because throughout the book, God is referred to as the future, the present, and the past. Like previously stated, this book consists of many quotes that motivate you and inspire you to do things and accomplish your dreams. This quote has motivated me into hitting a new PR. Let's go, piece of ticket, boys! 3, 2, cup. Even though I cracked my neck trying to hit this PR, it wasn't painful because I know it was required to eventually reach my dreams of benching 45 pounds with Will Waddell.
It's not what enters man's mouth that is evil, it's what comes out of man's mouth that is evil. Said by the Alchemist on page 150. I think this quote is referring to evil people in general. Not everyone is born evil. It's the people around and the things that surround each individual that eventually turns them evil. This quote also refers to overall the actions you make are your own choice. I also believe this quote is trying to show manipulation. Because men are turned evil through the things around them, like in the story. People are bad due to surroundings and people all around. Alright, I think that's it.
We good? Yeah, we good. Alright, so the vocab. Pretty much I don't know, I'm illiterate as poop, so I don't know what most of these words mean. So I'm just gonna go through any random page and I bet I'll find a word. Alright, the first word is on page 78. It's encampment. Put it up on the screen. So a sentence in the book is the Englishman was unable to sleep one night. He called to the boy and they took a walk along the duns surrounding the encampment. So basically encampment is a noun. It is a place with temporary accommodations consisting of huts or tents, typically for troops or nomads. An example of an encampment is a military camp or like any camp, tents, or it is also the process of setting up a camp. The second word is on page 106. It is imperceptibly. The sentence is suddenly the elder at the center smiled almost imperceptibly. Imperceptibly is an adverb. It means in a way that is so slightly gradual or subtle as not to be perceived. Another example of a sentence is the corners of her mouth rose almost imperceptibly. The last word is flock. It is used throughout the whole book. So basically a flock is a number of animals of one kind. In this case, in this book, it was sheeps. Santiago owned a flock of sheep, so he owned a bunch of sheeps. And yeah, that was it for the vocab.
Double critique. The novel The Alchemist, in my opinion, is a very good book with lots of life lessons and perspective-changing content. However, with all the frequent time changes and cutscenes, it can get confusing and frustrating at times. That being said, I don't want to take anything away from the book. It is a very good book, and I recommend it to anybody who like life-changing books and books that can open their mind a bit. We rate this book 4 out of 5 sand dunes.
The Alchemist is a book about a boy named Santiago who's a shepherd. Corbin! The Alchemist is a book about Corbin!
Novel critique. The novel The Alchemist by... Oh, just name it again. God, bro, I was trying to memorize my shit. Alright, with lots of life. What the f? And scene cuts. Okay, what the f? Off! Wait for me!
Oh, my breakfast on the table.